Dear students, today I am posting my next video on ideal and practical characteristics of op-amp. Okay, so let's start with that. So the topic will be ideal and practical characteristics of operational amplifier op-amp. Now, in that first we will see what are the ideal characteristics of op-amp. So if you see this diagram, we have shown the symbol of op-amp and we have shown the inputs. Okay, so here you can see this is the symbol and these are the inputs of op-amp. Okay, now here you can see this is the input 1. Okay, so this you can call it as V2, this you can call it as V1. So the input will be Vi here. So Vi is nothing but V1 minus V2. The difference between the two inputs will be Vi, and then the input impedance whatever you get will be infinite, will be very high. Okay, and similarly output impedance whatever you will get here will be very low. Okay, it will be 0 ohms. So here you are going to get output. Now when you speak about ideal characteristics, then you should say the input impedance is infinite. Ideally it is infinite, practically it is very high. Similarly output impedance is 0 ideally, but practically it is very low. Okay, so in such a way you have to differentiate between ideal and practical characteristics. Okay, so here ideal or characteristics, if you go to see, an ideal op-amp exhibits the following characteristics. The first one is input impedance Zi. Now input impedance Zi will be of infinite value. This is infinite value. Now this is ideally it is infinite. Okay, it is infinite, very high input impedance, so that no current flows. Okay, there might be some leakage current practically, but ideally no current flows. Now if you speak ideally output impedance Z naught, it should be 0 ohms. It will be very low practically, but it should be 0 ohms ideally. If you see at open loop voltage gain AV, that will also be infinite. So open loop voltage gain will be infinite. Okay. If the differential input Vi is equal to 0 volt, then the output voltage also will be 0 volt. So there will be no offset voltage here. Okay, so ideally the output voltage should be 0 volt if the differential input voltage is 0 volt. Okay, then a bandwidth ideally will be infinite, infinity bandwidth, very high bandwidth. It means an op-amp will amplify the signals of any frequency without any attenuation. So if you speak about a bandwidth which is infinite, which is very high, that means it can amplify signals of any frequency without any attenuation. Then we come to CMRR, that is common mode or rejection ratio. That is also ideally infinite. Okay, so CMRR we had seen earlier in parameters, which is equal to 20 log. Okay, the differential gain upon the common mode gain to the base 10. Okay, so this was given in our decibels. Now the value of this, okay, ideally should be infinite. Similarly, if you go to see slew rate also is infinite. So that will also come as infinity value. Okay. It means the ideal op-amp will produce a change in the output instantly in response to an input step voltage. Okay. So practically the slew rate might affect, but ideally the slew rate is infinite. Then if you go to see the practical characteristics of op-amp, then you can see this same type of circuit what we had shown earlier. So here you can have your input V2. Okay, here you can have your input V1. This will be the difference between the two inputs. Now this will be your V1 minus V2. Okay, which will be given to the input. Now here you are showing the input impedance Zi. Now ideally we said it was infinite, but practically it will be very high. And output impedance Z naught, ideally we said it is 0 volt, but practically it will be very low. Okay, so here if you go to see the practical or characteristics of op-amp, then input impedance Zi is in the order of mega ohms. Okay, it is in the order of mega ohms. So ideally we had said it is infinite, but practically it is in the order of mega ohms. Similarly, output impedance Z naught, ideally we said it was 0, but practically it will be in the order of few ohms. Then open loop voltage gain AV, ideally we said it was infinite, but practically it will be high. Practically it will be high. Then when you choose a practical op-amp, you should check whether it satisfies the following conditions. Input impedance Zi should be as high as possible. Output impedance Z0 should be as low as possible. Open loop of voltage gain should be as high as possible. Output offset voltage should be as low as possible. The operating bandwidth should be as high as possible. CMRR should be as high as possible. And slew rate should be as high as possible. So most of the parameters here are high except your output offset voltage and output impedance. Clear? So the value should be high. Ideally, it might be infinite, but practically it should be high. Okay. Now, if you go to compare ideal and practical op-amp, each parameters. Now here we have shown the infinite voltage gain. An ideal op-amp has infinite voltage gain, whereas practical op-amp has voltage gain which is not infinite. It is 10 raised to 5 to 10 raised to 8 value. So it is not able to amplify input signal smaller than 100 microvolt. Okay, so generally speaking, the voltage gain of ideal op amp will be very high. It is infinite. Whereas voltage gain of practical op amp will have some value in the range of 10 raised to 5 to 10 raised to 8. Similarly, if you go to see the input resistance, or that is the input impedance, so ideal op amp will have input impedance which is very high, infinite. Okay, whereas practical op amp will have a high input resistance or input impedance, but it will be in the range of 10 raised to 6 to 10 raised to 12. Okay, so still it draws some current. Not all source can drive it. Okay, but it will be very high input impedance. So ideally it is infinite, practically it is very high. Similarly, if you go to see the output or resistance, that is the output impedance, an ideal op amp will have zero output resistance or zero output impedance, so that output can drive any infinite number of other devices. Whereas practically, if you speak about output impedance or output or resistance, it is typically 75 ohms, a few ohms, 75 ohms for standard op amps. So it has limit to deliver the current to output devices. It is not that it can serve all the devices. It has some limit because a few ohms exist at the output. Practically, it is not zero. So about 75 ohms exist. Then if you go to see the offset, the ideal op amp will have zero output voltage when the input voltage is zero. Whereas practically, it is not able to give zero at the output when the input is zero due to mismatching of input transistors. So the output voltage will be zero when the input voltage is zero. Ideally it should happen, but it won't happen because of mismatching of input transistors, and some voltage exists which is called as offset voltage. Then if you go to see the bandwidth, an ideal op amp has infinite bandwidth so that it can amplify any frequency. Okay, whereas practically op amp has its own gain bandwidth product, so input frequency should not exceed from that particular frequency range at desired gain. So practically you are having some value of the bandwidth, but ideally we say the bandwidth is infinite. Practically the value of bandwidth is high, but it is having some range, some value is there, whereas infinitely it is in ideal op amp. So in ideal op amp the bandwidth is infinite, and in practical op amp you have a certain range of bandwidth. Then if you go to see the common mode rejection ratio, so ideally common mode rejection ratio is infinite. That means output common mode noise voltage is zero. If any signals are same, common signals are given to the two inputs of op amp, the output should be zero. So infinite common mode rejection ratio. Whereas practically CMRR, that is common mode rejection ratio, is typically 90 decibels. So still it gives output voltage even if both input terminals are shorted. That means if both input terminals are having same inputs, there will be some voltage practically. And that shows that its common mode rejection capability is around 90 decibels. Its common mode rejection ratio is 90 decibels. Whereas ideally, it should not give any voltage when both the inputs are same. Ideally, infinite CMRR should be there. But practically, there is some CMRR because some output voltage exists when both input terminals are shorted. Then if you go to see the slew rate, an ideal op-amp has infinite slew rate so that output voltage changes occur simultaneously with input voltage changes. Whereas practically op-amp slew rate is typically 0.5 to 90 volt per microsecond for improved op-amps such as LM318. So output cannot be changed simultaneously with the input. There is some delay, that is the slew rate. So practically we find some delay in the output, whereas ideally we say the output will instantly occur. Thank you, students. This was the difference between the ideal and practical characteristics of op-amp.